Vloggers POW.
I know, I did a Golden Axe game recently, but it was shit, wasn't it? I mean, but this is the result of a series of polls which I ran on Twitter over a couple of weeks ago. First voting on the format I would play, then the type of game I'd play, and then ultimately a short list of games, and Golden Axe 2 won out on that. So thank you for everybody who voted on that. And then after everybody had voted and Golden Axe won, I actually asked everybody what they thought of Golden Axe 2, and a lot of people replied, which again is nice, and thank you very much. So let's have a go on this. I'll waffle on a bit, but I've got a lot of comments and things to recite back from fine folks on Twitter. So here we go. So starting off, we're going to choose Tyrus because we always choose Tyrus. Okay. I've just realised I'm going to press the magic button as soon as I start, aren't I? So, oh no, there we go. So there's the slice button. So first off, Golden Axe 2. Shit, I'm getting caned already. Obviously, the follow-up to Golden Axe 1, which was really big on the Mega Drive, they decided to release a sequel exclusively on the Mega Drive. So this didn't have an arcade... Jesus Christ, I've forgotten how hard this game is. An arcade version. This is purely a Mega Drive game. And I've got a bit of a weird past with this. When I got my first Mega Drive, I was ironically unemployed and living away from home at a friend's house while he was at university, basically taking up his room while he was at university and staying with his mum. And as anybody who tried to get any kind of work in the early 90s knows, it was pretty fucking impossible. So I spent a few months on my own, unemployed, with no friends to speak of, playing nothing but Mega Drive games for a few months. And I really should concentrate because I'm getting wasted on this. So whenever I hear the Golden Axe 2 music, I just get well, I wouldn't say depressed, but a little bit melancholy, I think, because it reminds me of that point in my life where things were, you know, weren't horrible, there was no major problems, but it was one of those periods in my life where I was a little bit, Anyway, by November that year I gave up and asked to come and live back at home, really mainly because I was missing friends and family, but hey ho. Anyway. Dead. So, let's throw some goons around and see what people have got to say about Golden Axe. So first off on the list is Ginger Fizz. Hi Ginger. She says, phenomenal game. This is the game that started my love for video games. It's very special to me. I love Golden Axe. So Ginger loves her Golden Axe. Take that as you will, I suppose. Now I do apologise in advance. I'm being crap at this and I am actually going to probably continue when I need to. Let's use some magic while we speak to Vapor Tear Apparition. I used to have a Japanese copy until my girlfriend stole it when I was 13. Bitch! It wasn't that good anyway, but she stole the games off me like Street Fighter 2, so it'll always be a painful game for me to revisit. So, along the same kind of lines of what I was just saying, I suppose. Minotaur guy in his speedos. That's... Oh god. I am going to need some continues, aren't I? This is going dreadfully. So moving on, since Species was somewhat disappointed, it didn't reach the same level of polish as the first game offered. The game was somewhat memorable, but the series just sadly had the wheels fall off due to the rushed nature of development. Yeah, okay. I'll give you that. It's not as polished as Golden Axe, is it? It does look a bit brown in comparison. And I'm doing so badly. So moving on to the bonus stage. These little Orco dudes. Not quite as good as the goblins from the original, are they? So, that's one thing this game does lack, is I was going to say a map screen, and suddenly you've got this crystal ball thing come up I'd totally forgotten about, so, okay. So, moving on to more comments. So, Savage Gaming says, I love the second one. It does feel smooth to play, but it does lack that creative spark that the first one had, especially with level design and backdrops. The soundtrack is amazingly, though, easily on the same level as the first. Now, I would slightly disagree with that. I don't think the soundtrack's anywhere near as iconic as the originals, but, you know, hey, horses for courses, and I've asked for these opinions, so, you know, suck it up, me. Bruno Gaspari. Honestly, it's playable, but meh. Average, actually. Don't bother putting that opinion in. I don't want to leave a stain on your video. Haha, just have me when you're done and share it. Oh, yeah, I'm going to share it anyway. Right, let's concentrate for a few seconds while I... chicken leg ride-on thing. Right, so who's next? Geigerpunk. You know, I'm not sure if I've ever played it. I may have had a quick look at it emulated years and years ago along with Golden Axe 3, but not for any real length of time. Certainly not long enough to make an impression anyway. Well, yeah, I know you're not the biggest Mega Drive gamer there, Rob, but it's probably worth having another revisit, but it's I can see how you would probably just pass it by an emulation, have a quick go and not actually worry about it more than that. These skeletons are gits, I seem to remember. Apart from when they fall down the holes. That's one thing I do like about this version of Golden Axe, the way you can just push people down holes. So, Gubbins says, well, apart from pressing the wrong button at the start, yeah, I'm so surprised I didn't do that. It looks good, feels and plays just like the first game. Right. Oh, big ass skeletons, let's hope we can continue. Yes, good, we've got three credits. So, Top Loader. Oh, friend Top Loader from Down Under. Golden Axe, what do I think? Oh, I think you know what I think. And it turns out he quite likes it, I think. Good night, Robicho. Sorry, I might not have pronounced that correctly. Not a bad sequel, I thought. Always got a lot of fond memories for the first Golden Axe. Don't know why they gave Axe Battle a windy magic though. No, very true. They had Earth magic, I believe, in the first game. And how good are this set of heroes to keep on losing the Golden Axe to bad guys in the first place? Yeah, very true. I've lost another life. This is not going very, very well, is it? This is amateur hour, isn't it? That's the old thing, you can sit against a wall and get hit by a skeleton. These skeletons really appear to be damage sponges, they really do. Fighting two at the same time is not fun. So moving on, Dan Driver still the second most fun you can have a dwarf and a couple in their underwear holding sharp objects. Yeah, okay, I'll give you that. I presume the first most fun being that party in Amsterdam. Yeah, you know, the one down. Blue. Blue replies with Go Team Prawn. Or at least hashtag Team Prawn. We know about Team Prawn, don't we? We'll use some magic in the honour of Team Prawn. Thanks, Blue. Kale says a solid sequel, although a little too similar to the first in a lot of ways. Yeah, okay, it is no major improvement of the formula. Let's have some more magic. But it is, I take that point, it is pretty similar to the first one. Maybe disappointingly so. I do remember maybe magazines at the time probably had issue with it being too similar to the original. I used to be good at this. Oh god. Magic! Skeletons, headless bad guy. GH64 says, should have been called Golden Axe 1.5. That is so true. Golden Axe 1.5. Half a Golden Axe, half a Mouldy Axe, I don't know. Oh, another continues being used. So ZX wife says, I can't comment because I don't know this game. Thanks, Alex. I said I was going to include every single comment I got. Andrew Jackson replies with Golden Axe 2. I've never played Golden Axe 2 because I haven't never beaten Golden Axe 1. Am I allowed to play the second one? Yes, Andrew, you can. I'll let you. It's fine. Go and do it now. You might do better than I'm doing, which is shockingly bad. How? Well, she just picked up a huge guy full of armour. How do you do that, Tice? How do you do that? You've been working out. Right, another bonus stage. Oh, let's get some life this time. Stupid magicians. And where are we off to on the map now? We found the enemy who was using the... I don't care. Skip to the end. So, Louis Iragori says, I always pick that person. Maybe the guy with the axe, I presume he's talking about Tyus Thunderhead, the dwarf, maybe. So there's a bit of a conversation thread popped up when Scanlines says Golden Axe. The game where only one person uses an axe. Glenn Heavyside replied, Death Adder also has an axe. And Scanlines then replies, okay, 2 axes. Is 2 enough though? Do we need more axes in Golden Axe? Please phone in now. Be like Jeremy Vine on BBC 2. BBC Radio 2. Today's topic. Are 2 axes enough for Golden Axe 2? Have you been affected by a lack of axes in Golden Axe 2? Please phone in. LT Ironforks, loved it 100 years ago when I was into Conan the Barbarian. Are you really that old, dude? But I feel it doesn't hold up. Now that I've played so many other games like it, yes, okay, so these days you've got a lot of alternatives you could play instead of Golden Axe. I mean, hell, you could play The Revenge of Death Adder on MAME now, and that is a really, really worthy Golden Axe sequel. That's really worth playing. Yep, down the hole with you. Oh dear. Yep, holes in scenery, very, very useful. If I just walk along here, purple dude's gonna commit suicide. Lemmings. Fucking idiots. So, IDSPIP pop. Do me. Golden Axe was for when armor was for wimps. I do agree. There's that whole conversation about women fantasy characters and their lack of clothes. You know, not complaining and all, but it isn't particularly practical, is it? I think you can blame Frank Vendetta for that, or whatever his name is. I just realised what's down here. There's lizard men down here, isn't there? Shit. Right, Frap Mocha. Good old Frap. Never played it, but played the prequel, loved it instantly. Huge fan of the hack and slash genre I started with this franchise. I think many games got their inspiration from Golden Axe, if anything. This series paved the way for many developers, yes. Absolutely. No Golden Axe. Would it have been a Streets of Rage? I know they're both by Sega, but maybe Streets of Rage adds a bit more to Final Fight than it does Golden Axe, but I know what you're saying. It was you probably wouldn't have had things like the Dungeons and Dragons games on CPS 2, maybe. Strange, I'm now struggling to think of many other fantasy-based scrolling fighting games. Let's have some magic. Scanlines replied again. Golden Axe 2, Axe Harder. Yep. Axe Harder indeed. Right, another bonus stage. Collect the magic books. Some bread. Right, this is going to go tits up real quickly because this is where it starts getting really hard. There's a lot of skeletons, so much so that Jason the Argonauts would probably have a heart attack. Gemma Hudson loved all of the Golden Axe games. Golden Axe 2 was awesome. Yeah, Gemma. I think a lot of people have a lot of love for this. I mean, okay, as it's been discussed so far, it is derivative of the first. But then again, what sequels aren't? Sequels these days are probably even more derivative. With year in year out cash cows and that. Okay, this is Golden Axe with different graphics, but it is still fun. Right, one for your new. I still like it, especially as it's a two-player game. Yeah, that cannot be discounted. Do you guys know that weird thing? There's the Mega Games compilation for the Mega CD with Streets of Rage, Golden Axe on it, etc, etc. Streets of Rage 1 on the Mega CD version is single player only. I always found that very strange. Whereas Streets of Rage on the same compilation isn't. Very, very odd. Right, on to our last credit now. Let's use some magic. Right, and lastly, last comment here, Sergeant Goat. Fine if you can't get enough Golden Axe, but I seem to remember it lacked the visual flair of the first. Magic was a bit dull and lacked a lot of creative locations like Turtle Village. Yeah, yeah, the locations are pretty boring, aren't they? It's I mean, okay. Having said that, that flamey animated Hellspawn backdrop's pretty good. But yeah, Turtle Village and the back of the giant eagle were fantastic locations in the first game. One thing I'd say is there seems to be, well, like I say, an awful lot of skeletons in this game. And I don't know if it's psychological, but I always think they're actually harder than the rest of the bad guys in the game. Well, I think you probably had enough watching me die horribly on Golden Axe, and I've only got one life left. It's not going to last very long. Maybe I should have played on easy. No, if you play on easy, you don't get the full game. It craps out, I think, on this level and pretends it's game over, so you don't get the full game if you play on easy. But oh well, quite good timing because I've run out of things to say, I've run out of things to read, which the lovely folk on Twitter have posted. Thank you for everybody who took part in the voting stages and also took the time to send me comments about their feelings about this game. There we go, game over. Well, thanks for watching through this.
Yeah, subscribe or naff off!